Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Business Trap. Today we have a treat for you. We're going to talk about why leadership is so important and the traits, the characteristics that a leader needs in order to be successful. We have Carlos here, who is, I would say, one of the expert in leadership because he's heading our whole organization and he has over almost 100 people under his control. And you need to understand and know leadership to do that. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Carlos, tell us about leadership. Give us an overview of what we're going to talk about today, and we'll jump on the discussion.
Hey, what's up, guys? So, like Carlos said, leadership is essential in business. In order for you to lead a successful career in business, whether you're a manager or a business owner, you need to have that leadership character. And today we're going to detail this traits that you need in order to be an effective leader. And I got most of these learnings from books, from people that I admire that are great leaders, from people in our community. You could get a lot of good traits also from politicians, people in government that have a lot of very good leadership character. So let's talk about the 5 traits that makes up leadership character.
I think we should talk about the heart, right? Which kind of ties into the 5 traits. Leadership is something about the heart, right? I wanted to get into why the heart is so crucial when it comes to leadership. So take it away.
So, because leadership is about caring more than anything. Leadership is about people. It's about taking care of people, and it's about doing the best thing to keep people moving forward and stay motivated. So today we're going to talk about these 5 traits. The first one is hunger for wisdom. So what do you want? What does that bring to your mind when you hear hunger for wisdom?
As a leader, that characteristic is so important because you need to always be learning, always trying to improve yourself. Because then your team will have someone that's always innovating, always bringing in the latest things that is going on in the industry or even in leadership itself, always trying to get knowledge so they can support their team.
That's right. Yeah, and when I hear hunger for wisdom, I also think of the fact that leader has to make so many decisions, right? And they have to be at the front. They have to lead the team. So in order to do that, the wiser you are, the more wisdom you have, the better you're going to lead your team.
That's right. For example, we're always taking seminars. We're always looking for what's out there in our field, in our area, in order to improve ourselves and our company. The next one is expect the best. This one is tough. Expect the best, right? What comes to mind when you hear that? Expect the best.
Well, it's more than just being positive, right? Because being positive, I know, is very popular. A lot of people say be positive, be optimist. But in life, as a leader, that means expect the best means out of every situation, you have to have a positive expectations. And that also dictates, what decisions you make because in how much effort you're going to put into every project that you have. Because if you're expecting the best, man, you have to put your best foot forward.
Right. It's like if somebody tells you, look, if you do this right, at the end of the year, you're going to have $1 million in your pocket. If you expect to have that $1 million in your pocket, you're going to work day, night, going to be dedicated in order to be successful. And again, when I hear expect the best, me personally, I think about risk and the tolerance for risk and kind of putting those together and being able to take like higher risk, knowing that I'm expecting the best outcome, right? So for those of you who are leading your company, who are starting your company, again, your expectation of the result that is going to happen from the outcome of your efforts is going to dictate how much risk you take, and the amount of risk that you take, the higher the reward. So expect the best and under any situation and in any area of leadership.
That's right. And let's move on to the next one. The next one, I know that it's a tough one for a lot of people, especially if you're starting as a leader, and it's accept responsibility. So what comes to mind for you with this one?
Wow, accepting responsibility for me is basically just own it, right? Whenever somebody else in your team makes a mistake, you have to own that mistake as well in order for you to figure out what can you do in order to improve that so that doesn't happen again. So how about you? What comes to your head when you think about accepting responsibility?
Well, I always remember the line that I got from this book that nobody cares how much you care. I mean, nobody cares about you until they know how much you care.
Right.
Right. So you have to show the team that you care for them and that you're gonna take responsibility for everything that happens wrong, and you're gonna give responsibility for everything that your team does well. because you also you also don't take credit for things that someone else helped you. You always give the credit, but then you accept responsibility. And the reason why it's important is, like you said, if you don't take responsibility, there's nothing you can do to improve the situation.
Right. I relate this one to like taking feedback too. For some reason, I always tell people, um, in order to be receptive to feedback, you have to accept that you are doing something wrong. If you don't accept that you're doing something wrong, you will be very reluctant to take feedback from other people, thereby improving your situation. So you're always going to be in the same cycle and never improving yourself.
That's right.
Yeah. So moving on to the next one, which is the R, right? Respond with courage. Respond with courage. Tell us about responding with courage.
Responding with courage is about making decisions, right? And making the decision that needs to be made, doing what needs to be done. And there's an author that he got a book. The book is called Eat the Frog First, because a lot of us stay away from things that are challenging, opportunity, things that would require maybe extra effort.
Yes, that conversation that you've been putting off with a team member about their performance, right? And as a leader, let me tell you, things like that eat at us, right? Because we come to work and we know we have to tell somebody something that needs to improve, and you're like kind of putting it off and putting it off until you have the courage to speak to that person. You don't feel good. And it's like it eats away at you. It takes away from your mental stability and honestly from doing other more important things. So respond with courage. Doesn't matter the situation, if it's something positive or if it's something negative, just get it done. Know that the worst thing that you could do in a situation is do nothing, because that's going to just hurt everyone.
Yeah, and a lot of times when it comes to responding with courage, we think that if we don't do anything, then maybe the situation
Will go away.
will go away, or maybe if we don't speak up, that it will be okay. The problem with this is that responding with courage is something that it affects you, but you don't even know how it affects you, because if you don't take the action, then you don't know the consequences that's gonna bring later on.
You will know the
if
outcome.
you're in a meeting and you see that something is wrong, or you see that there's a mistake that you made in a presentation, and you don't speak up, you don't raise your hand, you don't know what catastrophe you're making by not speaking up.
Right, you're
What could
avoiding,
happen?
yeah. All right, we have think others first. Think others first. That's the last one. That one spells out hard. So the last one, think others first, this is really about the heart, I feel. And it's one of the most challenging things to do for a lot of leaders, because we are these people that are always like front and center, and we're always like taking care of everyone in a way. But that characteristic is really hard to build, because it's something that you just don't do. It's something. It's a habit. So tell us about that. How have you been working with that? How does that affect leadership?
Well, I think this one just puts everything together and into perspective, because the role of a leader is to serve whoever they lead, right? It's to serve others, and think others first. Give you a perspective as in, everything that you do, you have to do it with others in mind. How does it affect other people? How does your decision affects them? How does not, calling somebody's attention when you know they have a performance gap and they have an opportunity that they can improve, and you don't mention it to them? That could affect them long term very badly. And we have to take that into perspective.
See, in my opinion, thinking other first for leaders, especially business owners, is I don't want to say difficult, but it's something that sometimes takes a back seat, because as a leader, as an owner, you have all these goals, all these to-do lists that you have to take care of, right? And for some reason, just taking the time out to give somebody a birthday card, or to go help somebody out with something that's not even related to our business, it's like pulling you away from things that in your mind is the core of your business. But at the same time, by doing those things, I feel that you're taking care of your team, and thereby they're gonna give you a lot more effort in their performance and improving the outcome of your company.
Yeah, and it's a big trap that a lot of first-time leaders, first-time business owners fall into, because, and I remember I fall into that trap, because we think that the first thing that we have to pay attention to is the performance of the business.
Right.
But if you pay attention to the people, you are paying attention to the performance of the business.
Yes.
If you're thinking of your people first, like speaking to them, asking what are their goals, and helping them through your business to achieve their goals, then it's a win-win.
Correct. Correct, guys. So that's it. That's our heart, right? That's why we say that leadership is a matter of the heart, because we have H, right, for hunger for wisdom. E, expect the best. A, accept responsibility. R, respond with courage. And the T that we just went over, think others first. It's very important that you guys understand these aspects of the leadership character in order to build and become a stronger leader, a stronger owner, or just a stronger overall person. So I want to thank you guys for joining us today. Alex, any final remarks on this matter?
I want to add that it is possible to shape your heart and like reshape your heart and strengthen your heart. And we should all be working every day to do that. And by following this list of character traits and working on them every day, we can become better leaders. Because we know that, there's always a gap from where we are to where we want to be. And by working on this, we could really bridge that gap.
All right, guys. So there you go. There you have it. This is the Business Trap. We want to thank you for your time. And also, we're going to list down a description of the traits down below. Also, like and subscribe. And don't forget to follow us on all the platforms. The Business Trap, where we always get your back.